Hello everyone, welcome to DGTAOS. This is my second tutorial for the Rebooted series. Doodle's Guide to Animating Object shows, if you didn't know what the acronym meant. But in this video we're actually going to be looking at how to do some basic animation with symbols. So like arms, and we got legs. And then we'll also be looking at how to do frame by frame animation. So instead of using tweening, we'll just do frames. So manual animation. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so first we're going to start with doing tweening animation. So get your classic brush tool, and we're just going to, you can basically kind of draw whatever, but just, you can hold control and select it, or just use Q, get the transform tool, the free transform tool, and click on that, and then we're just going to press F8. Make it a symbol. So we're going to name this arms, or maybe just character arms, and we're going to change this. I think we're going to keep this as a graphic. So let's press OK, and then you're going to want to double click on the symbol, or if you have your library tab pulled up, you can just click on here and it will automatically put you into it. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to delete what we drew, and we're going to draw some basic arms. So let's get a straight arm. Okay, we got a straight arm. You can turn on onion skin to get the other arms in the same kind of direction. Same starting point here, because this is where you want to twist your arm. Let's just make it like a arched arm. And what we're going to do with the arched arm is we're going to make another keyframe of the same arched arm, but we're going to use Q and select it, right click, transform, flip horizontal. And we're just going to line it up with the starting point here. So this will give us like a kind of a second arm. So it's the same arm, but just twisted other way around. So this way we won't have to make a bunch of different arms or just flip it when we're doing animation, because flipping it will get confusing. So let's make a this way kind of arm, or a pointed arm. So now you got kind of a pointing arm. So we're just gonna line it up. What you can do is you can just we can kind of just rotate these by maybe 90 degrees. So that way it's not all facing upward, because facing upward is kind of hard to draw with. So on every frame we're just going to rotate these real quick. This is up to you. It's just easier for me to draw arms sideways. And again, line up at the little starting point. So right now I'm using my arrow keys to move the arm to the starting point. And I'm just going to rotate a little bit. And then instead of flipping the other one, I'm just going to copy this one, delete, Control-Shift-V, and flip vertical this time because it is the other way around. And then we're just going to do transform, rotate 90 clockwise, and line it up again. And I think we're going to make another arm of this one. We're just going to do transform, flip vertical. Again, line it up at the starting point. You can go very, very in-depth if you wanted to get very close to the starting point right here. Because again, this is where we will be turning the arm from. So I'm going to make one more arm, maybe like a hand-out arm. Line it up near the starting point again. Then we're going to make another frame of the same arm, flip it vertically, line up the hand, and we got some arms. So yeah. And now that we have arms, we're also going to create some legs. So this, as you can see, we have our arm symbol here. If we make some keyframes in the bottom of the timeline, it will start spazzing out. So what we can do, you just go down here and click your arm, and make sure you have the properties tab open. Then go to object and just make looping here. In looping, you can just select play single frame. As you can see, it is not spazzing out anymore. So, but what we're going to do is delete our arm from the screen. It's still in the library. What we're going to do now is we're going to kind of make a duplicate of the arm, and we're going to call this character legs. And then we're going to delete the rest of the frames in the character legs copy thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a leg. Since this is the starting point for here, we're just going to use our arm as reference for size. A leg would probably be about this size. So now you can delete the arm, and we'll just make some legs. So yeah, now we got our legs. So now what you can do is just grab your character legs and your character arms. We're gonna make them single frame. So go to looping or frame picker if you want. I usually use frame picker, but looping is kind of faster. We're just gonna make a single frame. And then you still need frame picker here. You wanna kind of just select the leg that you want. So we're going to set our anchor point for the legs and arms at the little pivot point, the little turning point here. And we're just going to go ahead and set up a character. So you want to make sure you have multiple layers in your timeline for each part of the body. So our character is going to have 2 arms, 2 legs, so we need 4 layers for that. Then we need a layer for the body and a layer for the face. The face is not going to be animated. So let me just grab a character from BFDQ and just get an asset from there. Okay, so now I have orange from the BFDQ assets, and we're gonna just kind of set up the body. So if your arms are too long, you can probably just stick them in here, or the body needs to be bigger. So we just make the body a little bit bigger, put the arms in. We're just gonna put every body part on one layer for now, and then we're going to use a handy little Adobe feature that makes it split to all these layers. But I actually might need to delete all of them, so. And this is an hand-drawn style here, but you could do the same exact thing with BFDI. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do distribute to layers. And as you can see, we got all of our layers here. But we want our boy orange, or the body of the character, to be on the very top. Because if it is not on the top, the rest of the body will be shown through the character. So we got our little orange man. We're gonna make one more layer, and we're just gonna call this face. And let's go ahead and just draw a quick little face. And we're actually gonna turn this face into a symbol just to animate with it easier. So let's just name it face. I'm not going to make a bunch of different symbols for the face. I'm just going to make 2 symbols. There are actually 3 frames in this one symbol. Okay, so as you can see, we got a face. Of course, it's passing out, so we want to go to properties or frame picker. We're just going to do single frame. And we got a little orange man. So what we want to do is kind of let's just get the keyframes prepped. So we're just gonna make a bunch of different keyframes of him doing different actions. So yeah, as you can see, we got this right now. So he's surprised, he goes down, and then he is happy. Okay, so now it is time for the animation. So you want to get your classic tweens going here. As you can see, it's kind of choppy. So we're going to make some adjustments, but what we want to do right now is we're going to change our classic ease, which is just straight linear. We're going to change this to an ease in, maybe more of a quint ease in. And for some reason, it keeps moving him down all the way here before switching the legs. So we may need to switch the legs earlier. So like right about here. what we can do here is we're gonna add some frames in between. And this is just kind of smooth the action out. You're just gonna kind of move him this way a little bit, just a tiny bit. Then we're gonna tween, and then we're going to set the easing to out. It doesn't matter which one, just any kind of ease out. So yeah, that kind of works. And I think I want to give this a little pause between the next frame. So we're just going to add some more keyframes that do this, and we're gonna get them back up. So let's go ahead and tween. Kind of looks choppy again. But what we can do to help fix this, probably just changing the pivot point to be a little bit outside the box. You can see it through the onion skin of where it will be, and then changing the easing style can also help with this choppiness. And what we want to do here is we're actually going to make some frames out here. We're just going to kind of twist everything a little bit the other way around. So we're just going to do it this way. And here we can just kind of reset the pivot point. As you can see, it's just the arms moving here. Maybe we can move the leg a little bit. So we're just going to slightly twist them. Then we're going to create a new classic tween in between. And we're going to do an ease out. I'm just going to do Quint. As you can see, there's a little bit of funkiness going on here, and this is probably because the different pivot point. So we're just going to reset it, twist it this way a little bit. Bam, fixed. And we're actually going to make his body and face kind of settle down a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. What we can do to help fix this issue with the arm is right before this arm goes down to change to this position, we're actually going to make a new keyframe here and twist it, and we're going to do a motion blur. We're going to shrink it down a little bit. It's a little bit funky, but it is working. It's much easier to do this with BFDI style things compared to hand-drawn. We may just need to add some stuff. Again, we might want to do a little settle out here with the arms. So this is the final result we came up with for tweening, and I think it looks pretty nice. Again, the same thing will happen if you use BFDI limbs and character assets, except the face will not be like this. You will have to make your own face with the eyes and mouth. So, yeah. So now we're going to do our little animation with frame by frame. So instead of needing multiple layers for the assets with frame by frame, you usually just need 3. If you have a background or audio, you're gonna need 5. But for now, since we don't have background or audio, we're just going to be using 3. So we got the limbs, the character bodies, and the face, or the faces, in case you have multiple characters. Okay, so we're going to go into the library, grab our little orange boy, size him up a little bit. And what we're going to do here is we're going to grab our properties tab, going to get our brush, and we're just going to draw some legs for him. No symbols, just drawing object. This is the way I usually like to animate my characters, especially on BFDQ. We're gonna kind of have him notice the camera in a second, so we're just gonna have him face like this. Frame by frame is just making new stuff as you go. So here we're going to make him do a blink, and if you ever watched the old blink video, this is kind of how we do a blink. We're going to use the arrow keys a lot here. So what you're going to do is just grab an eye or the eyes or whatever you're using and just make it go down like just a couple of smacks, just a little tiny amount. Then on the next frame you make it go down more and then more until you get to like right before it blinks. And then what you want to do right before it blinks is kind of shrink it inward. And we're gonna move it to the right a little bit because we want him to face the camera. And then delete it on the last frame. And we're just going to draw a closed eye. Let's make some more frames. And we're gonna have the closed eye happen for 2 frames for effect. Then we're gonna delete the eye and make some new ones. So now we're gonna make him face the camera and actually see you, I guess, the audience. So while this blink is happening, we're going to move the mouth slightly. Here's the final result with doing frame by frame animation. And I'd say it looks pretty good. It's a little bit jank with the legs when he bends down, but that's just because it's harder to animate bending down frame by frame. So yeah, that's the end of this tutorial for now. Maybe in the next tutorial we will do either lip syncing or asset making, one of the two. Anything relating to this little box here. But that is the end of this tutorial, so I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, the little orange man, he smiles at you. Enjoy your day.